In this video, I'm going to orient you to Storyline's interface. Don't be intimidated, it's just like PowerPoint. If you want more on advanced features in Storyline, be sure to check out my other videos. All right, let's go. I'm Lindsay and I cover instructional design, e-learning development, and all things online teaching and learning. When you first open a new project, this is the default view. We are on Story View. When you want to edit your slides, pop over to Slide View. This is where it's most like PowerPoint. If you add new slides, they will appear here on the left. When you pop back to Story View, as you add more slides, you'll see those appear here as well. So this is the bird's eye view. This is the in-depth editing view. Up here, you'll see all these options on the menu. Just like PowerPoint, you can just one click add a new slide, one click apply a layout. You can add in all sorts of interactive features here. You can also add in media, video, audio. You can embed web pages. There's all sorts of different kinds of slides that you can add. You don't have to worry about this just yet. You can change your project theme. That's very similar to PowerPoint. Again, just like PowerPoint, you have transitions, you have animations you can add, and you've got a lot of view options as well. There's also a lot of help for Storyline online when you need it. Now, back to the slide view. So let's start with our main slide here. You have scenes and you have slides. So on the Story View, if you decide that you are building out perhaps a scenario activity where the user can make choices and it'll take them to a different scenario, you can add a new scene. See, that just appeared right here. Now when I click into that, I am in the scene 2, and you can select your scenes here. You can ultimately use triggers to connect all of these together. But on the Story View, again, you can see how these will connect. So you can actually link to slides here if you want to, and then you can see how those connect. This will connect down to this one. So you can see that little arrow appear right there. Now within the slide view, you already are familiar with the role of slides here. Down here below is the timeline as you insert objects onto your slide. Let's insert a simple shape right here. I like to use shapes for demos. Again, just like PowerPoint. That will appear down here below as rectangle. Now at this point, we've got slides, we've got scenes, and everything's labeled as untitled. So I'm going to go ahead and double click here. Maybe call this intro. Over here on the bird's eye Story View, I can change this and maybe call this the intro scene. And you'll see this update everywhere. Later on, as you start using triggers, you'll see that as you change names, those will automatically update in your triggers as well. You can also change the names of objects below. Let's call this, I don't know, home button. Maybe I want to turn that into a home button later on. On the right-hand side here is your triggers panel, and this is your slide layers panel. This is where you start departing from PowerPoint. By default, every single slide has a next button and a previous button. If you're editing your triggers and then when you go to preview your project, you find that you can't go next or previous, you probably accidentally deleted these. You can always insert a new slide and you can copy these up here, and you can always paste it onto the slide that's missing it over here. Down here on slide layers, you can actually add layers to your slide, which means you can put objects onto that layer, and it is like an overlay of the base layer. They'll only appear when that layer is activated. We'll talk more about that in a future video. When you're ready to preview, just pop over here to the preview button. It'll take a few moments and you can experience it just as your learner would. You can see the next buttons down here below, and you can see that it popped right over to scene 2 there. Finally, when you're ready to publish, hit publish. If you have a subscription to 360, which is the default nowadays, you can publish right away instantly to Review 360, If you want to use this project on your portfolio, you would publish for the web. If you wanted to put it into a learning management system, you would choose your options here and publish just like that. It's super quick, super easy. Be sure to watch the next video in the series to learn even more.